What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 essential rules for men to follow when messaging girls on Tinder. Rule number 1, keep your opening message short. Most guys on Tinder think they have to impress the girl or jump through hoops to gain her attraction. But in reality, when they're doing that, all they're subcommunicating is that they often don't get girls of her caliber. Instead, you want to keep your message short and succinct. Like she's one of many, many girls of that hotness that you're matched with, and you don't have the time to write out all these long-ass messages. Let's take a look at an example of a guy that clearly did not take this advice to heart. He sent her an opener. I just don't have much time, so just listen. I'm from the future. In the future, the sex machines have taken over. They've sent back a Terminator back in time to orgasm you to death. Come with me if you want to live. It's actually pretty witty, but, you know, she doesn't respond to this, again, because it's too gamey, too long, and all that signals to her is like, ah, ha, ha, very funny, bro. Instead, much better example is just something simple like, hey, I like your style. You see the girl responds to this, and this may sound like very counterintuitive because you're like, well, but this guy, you know, put in more effort. Yes, but in situations like this, more effort does not equal more results. It actually equals less results. So again, keep your openers short, simple, and succinct. Rule number 2, be the buyer, not the seller. You don't want to make it seem like she has just won you over by being attractive and matching with you, right? That's what most guys in her DMs are doing. They're, oh my God, you're so gorgeous, you're so perfect. Like, yeah, you know, what can we meet, blah, 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 right? But girls don't want the guy that's too available. They want the guy that's a little bit of a challenge, the guy I have to kind of win over. And a great way to do this is by getting her to qualify. Qualifying means basically getting the person to prove themselves. So most guys are trying to prove themselves to the girl, but you want to get her to be the one who proves herself to you. Now this, of course, should be done in moderation and with calibration, because you don't want to, you know, be super obvious about it and be like, so tell me what's so great about you, because girls will be like, fuck off, right? So this needs to be done in a very smart, socially intelligent way. Let's take a look at some examples. So we have this situation where the guy is like, you know, they're talking about medical sales, and he's like, I do sales here, and there's construction, which is exhilarating when you get to connect with your client and make those deals with them. She's like, what company is it? Granite and Cabinets Design. We remodel the interior of our houses. My own place is an example, and he sends her a picture of his place. You know, like, the right response when she says, what company is it? I literally would have trolled her and said, Bang Bros, right? Something like that. That would have been a much better response than him trying to prove himself, you know, like, oh, my company, my this, my that. Again, you don't want to be trying to prove yourself to the girl. Now, let's take a look at a much better example. So this was one of my interactions, and me and this chick, you know, we had just moved things over to text. So she texts me her name, and she says, it's your Monday appointment. So I say, ah, the cute one with red hair. She says, oh, thank you, making me blush over here. I try. Just wondering what time and where we're meeting tomorrow and where I like to have my day planned. Just seeing your text, house 10-ish. So here's just, you know, just a bunch of bullshit, not really related to this buyer-seller frame. Here, this is where it kind of begins. So I asked her for Instagram because I want to see more pictures of her, because on her Tinder, you know, she had a few cute ones, but, you know, I'm not a guy that's just super fucking, you know, sold on it right away. I can see a nice booty pic, you know, before I'm ready to meet up. So I say, so she says she doesn't have social media. So I say, I feel you. Can you send me a pic then? She says, sure, you're trying to see if I'm a real person here. I say, exactly. She says, I'm glad you asked, because if I was honestly questioning if you were a real person, also send a picture also. And she sends me a picture, and then I send her a shirtless picture and say, here's me. Says, okay, good, I'm glad we established that, right? But I'm gonna get her to clarify a little bit more. So I say, yes, now I'm just wondering what you look like without, what the rest of you looks like, right? And then she sends me, she's like, oh, cheeky. And then she sends me a picture of her in her underwear and a very nice booty pic, like top-notch material. So I say, oh my, I'm a sucker for a nice booty. Like, can you see how I'm not super sold here? I'm not like, oh my God, that's the best ass ever. I can't wait to fuck it, right? I'm just showing that, like, yeah, I like this. I'm rewarding her behavior, but I'm not like, you know, totally sold yet. She says, thanks. I work out, I'm blessed with Cuban genes. I say, atta girl, how tall are you? So asking her more questions, 5'5". She says, I say, perfect. She's like, do you screen all the ladies like this, right? So this shows that I'm the one that's screening her. She says, I say only the ones that matter. And she says, haha, good one. Rule number 3, use correct grammar. This is something simple, but definitely important. A lot of guys get lazy and they send these messages that don't actually make sense until the girl reads them 3 or 4 times because everything is misspelled, or they use too many LOLs and, you know, LMFOs and just all these weird kid-like abbreviations. Don't do that. Actually write things out, spell things correctly. Don't write like a 12-year-old teenager, and use proper spelling and grammar. And that's going to go a long way and show that you're at least somewhat educated and intelligent. Let's take a look at an example. So this is from the perspectives are flipped. A girl sent in the screenshot, and this guy's trying to sexualize, and he's doing it with very bad grammar. So she's just trolling him here. She's like, I hope you're not scared by a 12-inch penis. Everyone else seems to be. And she's like, you're. He's like, sorry, you are. You're the type that would really love getting fucked in the arse, aren't you? So he's definitely not taking the hint that, you know, the vibe is in there. But she's like, you are. I'm sure you'll get it right next time. You got this, right? So she's just trolling him right now. And again, don't, you know, even if you are going to sexualize horribly like this, at least get your spelling on point. Now here we have a different situation. So here you can see that this guy's actually somewhat articulate, right? He's writing things out, you know, he's putting periods, punctuation marks, he's using big words. So at the very least, even if his texting itself isn't that good, when the girl reads this, she's like, okay, at least this guy, you know, is intelligent and he can actually properly spell. Rule number 4, have a purpose. Most guys on Tinder, they're just bantering to no end. They're just aimlessly texting back and forth, and eventually the girl gets bored and she's like, okay, well, where's this going? I commonly hear this all the time. You know, like yesterday or, you know, 2 days ago, I had a cute girl over, and, you know, one of the things, you know, I love to ask girls, like, hey, listen, like, what made you decide to hang out with me? Even though I usually know the answer to this, I just like hearing it. And she's like, well, you were the only guy that actually seemed to be able to move things forward. Every other guy that was messaging me, they were just talking and talking and talking, and it wasn't going anywhere. So you don't want to be like one of those guys. Let's take a look at some examples. So here we have a situation where the guy, you know, he opens the girl with, hey, could you do me a favor? She's like, sure. Could you stop being so adorable? Your smile is killing me. So, too corny, but okay. Anyway, the conversation begins. That was so sweet. Thank you so much. You seem like the type of girl who has a bunch of exciting stories. Anything interesting happened this week? I just moved from Michigan a week ago, and I have auditions for Disney coming up. Not bad. Hopefully you're a big Sean fan. Otherwise, this won't work out. So that's actually probably one of the better texts that he sends. She says, well, I haven't heard this music before. I love jazz music. What? We're breaking up. P, I'll introduce him when we hang out with me. Okay. Any plans this weekend? Nothing much. So I have a car at the moment. Heard Big Sean and Jazz Jam Sesh makes an awesome night. We should test that out. Lolo, really? I mean, there's only one way to find it out. Very true. Let me get to know you better first. So he says, fair enough. Here, tell me 3 interesting things about you. One has to be false, and I'll guess blah, 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 blah. I literally would have just said, what would you like to know? Again, keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate things. No need to play fancy games or just be, you know, overly witty or any of that nonsense. She says, I started singing when I was a baby. I've been in dance for 12 years. I have 5 other siblings. If you count step sings aloud. Wow, you made this really easy. I'm going to say the singing one has to be a baby false. She says, nope, the dance for 12 years, blah, 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 no one gives a shit. He says, wow, that was my first guess, and I changed it. I perform on TV, I speak 4 different languages. I listen to all genre of music. So one other thing that you notice, even though that this is on top of this not going anywhere, also, he's qualifying himself to her, right? So who's the buyer and who's the seller in this interaction? She says, that's so interesting. What languages? Before I answer, what was your guess? Oh my God. She says Italian, blah, blah, blah. I meant for which one was wrong, 3 things I listed, LOL. Another thing is just texting is just too feminine. Like, don't use so many LOLs or wows or whatever. She hasn't really said anything that amazing so far to warrant a wow. That was a really good guess on the language I speak, though. MFO, I didn't even realize how I say that listen to all kinds of music. Nope, it was actually languages. You were almost spot on. Like, again, don't overly compliment her. Really, lol, I'm so proud of me. I can only speak English. I wish I knew Spanish, though. Sorry, it's only for the cool kids with a smiley face. Oh, this text would have been a lot better if he didn't put the smiley face in here. So this is not the worst texting ever. You know, he's not doing anything that's horribly wrong. Again, the frame here is wrong. But the main issue really is that, again, this is just, you know, he's just purposely bantering, right? This is just going in circles and circles, and it's really not moving forward. There are 4 screenshots in, and they're not any further along than when they started. Now take a look at this example as contrast. Hey, I like your style. Haha, thanks. Same to you. Together with our powers combined. Sends him one of these crying emojis. How's your hump day going? It's all right. How's yours? I'm working still. It's amazing. Just got done with a killer workout. Looking sharp for a romantic date. Haha, nice. Tell me when it's happening so I can be ready too. In the next couple of days, of course. I'm sure you look fine already. Just got to pick out a cute dress. Haha, thank you. I'll work on picking out a cute dress. Ever been to blank? I haven't. I've barely been since Rona happened. Just recently did I start eating inside of restaurants. And then he says, don't worry then, I got you. We shall grab a drinks there, flirt with each other, make each other blush, seductive eye contact and voice may or may not be included. Okay, I like that plan. Show me your number for romance arrangement purposes. Number, texted. So this now would be the exact way I would go about setting up the date, but it's still a good example because he just progressively moved things forward, right? 3 screenshots in, and they're a lot further along than they were when they started, right? Versus the first example, it's just kind of going like this. So you can't always be moving forward. Sometimes you do have to take a strategic step back, but general tone of the interaction, the progression should be going like this. Rule number 5, if you sexualize, make sure you do it the right way. So sexualization over text gets a bad rep, or just sexualization in general, because guys think that, oh, if I do or say something sexual, she's gonna think I'm creepy, she's gonna think, I'm one of those thirsty guys, but that's not really the case. It's not that girls don't like it when a guy's sexual, they just don't like it when a guy's sexual in the wrong context, in the wrong situation, inappropriately sexual. But if you can sexualize the conversation in a very smooth, progressive, calibrated way, most chicks are going to be into that. So let's take a look at some examples. So here's a bad example of sexualization. Hey, troublemaker, lol, how do you know? I can see in your eyes. May like to have some fun here and there. So good. I can dig it. Tell me of my other weaknesses. Oh no, what might that be? A kinky and wild side. Haha, add alcohol in my system and it's a motherfucking party. My kind of girl, you know what happens to trouble like you? She says, lol, enlighten me, boy. So here's where he had to take a step back. Boy, I would have just sent her a text that says boy question mark, but he's just like too stuck on his agenda. He can't pull back. He says they get punishment. Well, is your dick's name the punishment? So here was another chance where he needed to take a step back. I would have just responded back with humor. Is your dick's name the punishment? I would have said, no, that's my left ball's name. You'd be so lucky to get my dick, or something like that, kind of tongue-in-cheek type of response. But again, he just can't take a step back, and he says, nope, it's handcuffing you, bending you over my lap and spanking your hair while I grip you and pull on your hair. So, haha, make sure you add a gag ball. Can't have a bitch speak. So it may seem like she's responding positively to this, but trust me, she's not. She's just trolling him right now. And he says, bitches can't speak during punishment, and it wouldn't stop there. And that was the final nail in the coffin. She's like, yeah, cool story, bro. Next. And you can see she stops responding. Now, here's a different way of approaching sexualization. She says, I'm curious about something. What are you curious about? But first, I need to ask if you're open-minded. Very. Do men realize that you're quite submissive to the right kind of a dominant man? She says, so you're the right kind of dominant man? Yep, ever been with one? I think my type is dominant men for sure. I'm very passionate and aggressive when it counts. I can tell you'd love having your hair pulled, choked, bent over randomly, and being spanked. She says, that's normal sex to me, haha. So here he goes one step further, right? So you can see he doesn't go all the way in. He kind of dips his feet before he fully steps in the water. Good, now I know you can handle handcuffs, bed restraints, toys, multiple screaming oral orgasms, and squirting. Yes, 100%. Do you have a safe word? And you can see how she just bites on that. She loves that message. Okay, the best sex I've had is when a guy made me squirt, so heck yeah. It's peaches. So they're in the state of Florida, state of Georgia. Got to honor the state somehow. Perfect. I'll be sure to make you squirt 4 to 6 times on our 10th date then. Shit, so real question, how do you become a sexologist? I'll tell you over text. It's a long story. Shoot me your number. So it might not be the same exact way I would go about setting it up. I might say, how do you become a sexologist? I might have said, it's a long story, ... One best told over a bottle of wine. And then she would have said, haha, okay. And then I would have said, like, what's your schedule like? So I probably would have done that. But you can still see the example. Like, even though both of these examples, the guy sexualizes. In the first one, he does it in an uncalibrated way and doesn't work out. In the second one, he does it in a calibrated way and actually builds intrigue and gets her more interested, and then ultimately works out. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. If you follow these 5 rules, you're gonna be well under your way to hooking up with hotties and being ahead of 99% of your competition on Tinder. Show me some love by smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, clicking the bell for notification. You don't wanna miss the awesome live Q&A we have coming up this Sunday with Vadim from Honest Signals. It's gonna be a good one and you don't wanna miss it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and until next time.